go to the moon!
Why wait?
Good evening, Internet World and Omniverse! As many of you know from my work, I'm an avid lover of any and everything Ben 10, no matter the art shifts, retcons, or pointless assets. But like many other fans, I have mixed emotions on the aliens that Ben acquires in Omniverse. With 16 new transformations as well as all of his previous ones, it's no secret that Omniverse really took advantage of the fact that Ben has access to over 1 million different alien species. Most of the time, they would use a gag or plot convenience to introduce a new alien, which every series has done before, but the Omniverse boys in particular don't feel very fleshed out, aside from their unique ability and a few quirky personality traits.
I say, Mole Stash, this is quite unprecedented.
There doesn't seem to be much more to the character, and their amount of screen time does not help their case. Now, don't get me wrong, I love Crab Attack and Crash Hopper, but some of these boys just feel like they're lacking something, and that's a place in the universe itself. One of my favorite things about Ben 10 lore is that there is a lore. His transformations have species and homeworlds that we even get to see as appearances in some episodes. Some are so developed in their backstories that they're worked into the main plot of the series, such as the Crystal Sapiens of Petropia, all of Ener Transil, and Galvan Prime. And it's a sad fact that there are only a few aliens in Omniverse with no species, planet, or backstory at all. We never see or hear about these aliens past Ben going hero, and new information about these guys is still yet to surface to this day, 5 years later. While the mysteries of Ben's new aliens were never resolved by Omniverse's final episode, we here at the Ink Tank would like to take the opportunity to expand upon the missing lore through our ongoing crossover continuation series 5 years later. And out of all of the Omniverse aliens that don't have species, the one that we're going to be talking about today is the one that bothers me the most, this lava lamp-headed Autobot. Atomix is OP as hell, ranking it at Ben's third strongest transformation just under Waybig and Alien X. After accidentally being dialed up by Pre-Brain Azimuth, he's only appeared a handful of times and we're given no background on him aside from how strong he is.
Which of your 10,000 aliens should I try first? Waybig? Diamond Head? Ooh, Atomix, yeah!
You'd think if there was something this powerful living out in the universe, someone would have some information on it. Characters know about celestial sapiens and the Nalgian that exist on higher planes of existence, but not this nuclear robot Goku that sounds like Zap Brannigan.
My friends, you can take away a man's title and his uniform, but you can never take away his integrity or his honor.
I am no bug. I am... Atomix!
And based on lore bits of canon species and planets left for us by Man of Action, love you guys, I believe we have a pretty solid theory as to where this Pacific Rim ripoff may have came from. Now, in order to find out where he came from, I believe that first we need to find something or someone else in the Omniverse that is similar to him based on the two genetic factors we know about him, his abilities and his appearance. Let's start with his abilities. His primary ability is to create, store, and manipulate nuclear energy, made pretty clear by the literal reactors on each arm. All that energy built up in a single body makes him pretty powerful. So powerful that he can knock out an ultimate evolved Vaxasaur with a single punch, send objects near out of orbit with a single kick, and even create a ball of energy that lasts implied indefinitely, even years after Ben's change back to human form.
Wow, that is bright.
He can generate heat, shoot beams of energy, fly, and take quite a wallop thanks to his hard metal body. Which leads to his next factor, his physical appearance. First off, I'm not a fan. He looks like if Apple was in charge of making RoboCop, or a NutriBullet filled with toxic waste. Ooh, wait, no. He looks like one of those early 2000s superheroes made for the Skechers commercials.
We get it.
Essentially, he seems to be a massive sentient energy taking host in a mechanized body that can contain said energy. And it is known that his energy can be harmful to those around him. He warns Gwen to protect the others and try to get them as far away as possible before attacking. Taking into consideration his powers and physical traits, I came to one solid conclusion that seemed pretty obvious in hindsight, actually. He's NRG. Like the Tin Can Man, he's just an OP version of NRG. Both in physicality seem to be nearly the same, energy hosted in a mechanized body. Looking at both of these guys comparatively, Atomix is on a completely different level than NRG. Hell, just watch our power scaling video. Link in the description. But aside from the power level, the only notable ability difference I can see between these guys is that Atomix can generate energy, nucleokinesis, while energy can absorb it, radiokinesis. And if you want to specify that they both have radiokinesis, the manipulating of energy, but that Atomix additionally has nucleokinesis, that just means that he can generate the energy he's manipulating. And with all the similarities, it got me looking into energy species a bit more.
The following information is canon and stated by the Man of Action team. We love you guys.
Energy is a Pripotosian bee from the planet Pripotos. His species are composed of high-intensity radioactive energy, giving them the ability to shoot said energy off in beams, as well as generate heat so hot it can melt through stone and metal. They can also turn intangible, fly, and absorb energy. His planet Pripotos used to have the most industrious megacities of the Andromeda Galaxy,
with glittering structures towering to the sky.
But due to an unspecified conflict, atomic war broke out. It stated that the entire surface of the planet became irradiated and almost overnight started to affect its residents, creating mutations and resulting in two notable subspecies, Pripotosian A and Pripotosian B. To avoid further genetic damage, some citizens moved underground and rebuilt their prosperous society with a protective layer of lead surrounding it to keep back any radiation from leaking in. These people became the A subspecies. Others that chose to stay on the surface thrived in the wake, because like ghouls in Fallout, they started absorbing more and more concentrated radiation, resulting in mutations. These became the B subspecies. So basically, it's similar to the Merc and Perk Gorman subspecies grouping, where they differentiate just enough genetically to warrant a separate transformation. To explain as to why they're so different, I believe it lies in the amount of radiation each subspecies has absorbed.
This is where I get speculative.
But first, a word from our sponsor.
I think when Species A sectioned itself off underground to protect themselves from further radiation, they couldn't completely avoid it, at least at the beginning, meaning they still got irradiated. But maybe the lower amount of radiation they received may have been so low that the species' DNA was able to adapt to it just as fast as it was mutating, resulting in a new species that can manipulate energy, and after a few generations of it being hardwired into their DNA, they probably needed it to be sustained and adapted to be able to generate it, creating their own independent source. Species B, on the other hand, was left in the wasteland above, absorbing more and more radiation and continuing to mutate. I believe that now with their overly mutated bodies that these guys may become dependent on that nuclear energy, given that their bodies run on the stuff now. And because they're in a radiation-enriched environment, they don't need to make it themselves. Not being able to generate it themselves, they hunger for it, which will explain Pandor's motivation and drive for trying to get out of a suit and absorb the power plant in his premiere episode. Then, looking at the containment suit itself, in its first appearance we see that close to nothing can crack it open except for Tadenite. But looking at the suit, it's obviously not that shiny turquoise space diamond itself, but a dark green tinted gray metal, possibly and presumably lead. My thought is that it's a mixed alloy of the two to create a literal prison to protect others from the dangerous physical body of the Pripotosian bee. They may have even been developed by Pripotosian A as a way to protect themselves from the bees. Seeing that they can generate energy and that B are literally willing to kill for it, in the suit, energy can't absorb, or leak, and the same goes for Atomix, his body being specifically built to prevent leaking of radiation to avoid his predator, energy.
But Ash, Atomix is way stronger than energy. Why would he be afraid?
Well, because Atomix would just look like an all-you-can-eat buffet to him. Energy would be walking out of the fight looking like someone just spray-painted Stay Puft red. So to put it simply, my theory is that Atomix is the Omnitrix's sample of Pripotosian A from the planet Pripotos, a direct genetic cousin of Ben's Chernobyl-themed alien Energy, who is Pripotosian B. But that's just a theory.
A Ben 10 theory!
No, that's horrible. We know that Man of Action had some plans for lore and ideas for Omniverse that just didn't make the CN cut, so maybe this could be true. They always like to pepper in little details like this in the fact pop-ups they ran in the original series, and we may never know. But, because of the amount of evidence and the fact that we here at the Ink Tank like this idea so much, we've decided to make this the canon species entry for Atomix in 5 years later, the comic that Ink Tank and I work on with Kuro.
Now, this wasn't part of the original script, but I'm very proud of how this video is turning out, and in the spirit of, well, I don't know, I figured I might as well show you guys the 5YL Atomix design, so drum roll, please. Oh wait, I'm the editor. I have to, hang on, I gotta download one real quick. Drum roll, please. Oh, bam! Well, there you go. This took like 1.5 years to design. It went through many trial and errors, and next to Weybig was probably the hardest alien to design that we've put out there. So, hope you guys enjoy it, and check out 5 years later, Chapter 8, coming out at the end of the summer. But until then, keep it fizzy. Back to you, Ryan.
If you'd like to stay updated on that, you can join our official Ink Tank Discord, where you can chat with fellow fans in our multiple community tabs. And if you'd like to see exclusive weekly updates, head on over to our Patreon and subscribe for as low as $1. Our projects are made possible by our amazing Patreons, and every little bit helps. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Freeze Frame. Make sure you guys like this video and comment below your thoughts on this theory. And if you think there may be any other genetic cousins hidden throughout the series, we may do another one of these, or something a little similar. I still don't have a tag, so, wait, what? Wait, no!